character doesn't exist in the original material. So how did you work with Peter Jackson, the screenwriters, on Tauriel?
We did a lot of extensive work together, and I was really honored and excited by how much they allowed me to be a part of the collaboration and a part of the creation of Tauriel. And it began from the very, very beginning when they offered me the role, and they threw out their ideas for Tauriel, and they were very they were specific, but they were also broad. And so there was a lot of room for us to hone in on exactly who she was throughout the shooting process. And so I was in the writer's room when we would do our read-throughs with Peter and his writing team, and they were always really open to suggestion. And even, things like I got to pick my ears, and I suggested her hair be more red. When I first got there, it was a little bit more auburn. And, got to be a part of the creation of the costume, and there was just on all levels, they really brought me in, and it was a very rewarding process for me.
When your character was announced, there was, mixed reactions by the fans. But this year it was the Comic-Con, you were signing at the Weta Cave, and there was, a lot of support for you. So how did it change?
I'm not sure really if it has changed or if it hasn't changed. I know that there is a lot of debate on the forums, the internet forums, suggesting, some people just hate the idea of Tauriel. And then there are people on those same forums fighting, defending Tauriel and saying, no, she's great and she's my favorite and I love her. So I think what we have to wait and see is, once the film comes out, then what people's reaction is. And I was excited and nervous to see the film because I, as a fan of Tolkien, wanted to see how I felt about her. I was still waiting, the jury's out until you see the film. And I was really pleasantly surprised because I didn't feel like she stood out in a negative way. I didn't feel like she altered the course of the story. I didn't feel like it was an addition that was out of place. I felt like it was very much in keeping with the story. Tolkien introduces you to the Sylvan Elves in the book. He just doesn't give them names. And she's, that individual to help give the people a face.
In fact.
The elves, a face.
How do you describe Tauriel's relationship with Legolas?
How would I describe? Well, they've known each other since Tauriel was born, which is about 600 years.
She's young.
She's very young for an elf. And so they're sort of childhood friends. King Thranduil, who is Legolas's father, has essentially, he's sort of, Tauriel's an orphan, and so he's sort of taken her under his wing. And as a result, Tauriel and Legolas grew up very closely. And in the film, there is a moment that I think it was in one of the trailers, where King Thranduil says, I think Legolas has feelings for you. I think he's more than just a brother-sister relationship. And it comes as a bit of a shock to Tauriel. I don't think she could have ever imagined that the prince of the Sylvan Elves could have feelings for a common elf like her.
So I think that in the next movie we'll see more of this.
Yes, in the next movie you get to really see where Tauriel's heart is.
Perfect.
Great.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.